Alright, what is up? It is another Saturday and welcome to the Snaipple podcast. I'm very hyped for this episode if you can't tell. Actually, if you look back, you can really see the growth in how I open each episode. In the first episode, I was just terrified. I didn't know what I was doing. In the second, I was still very nervous to actually start speaking. The third, I was kind of getting into it, and this time around, I'm just super hyped. Insanely hyped. Welcome to the podcast. I'm really glad to have you here. And I actually have things to talk about, and I really do enjoy I already screwed up. I really do hope that you enjoy your time here because you are in for a ride. I promise that hopefully these vibes are amazing. My job is to just be here as background noise, be vibing. It's what I do, sis. Can I get a yes, chef? If you actually said that, bless your soul. I've been wanting to say yes, chef on the podcast forever. Even before I started recording, before we even started staying at home, I was talking to my friend about just posting stuff, being myself, being a vibe, sharing my vibe with others. It's what I like to do. I like to vibe, that's it. And I did say that I wanted to go as Snailing. Yeah, that's one thing. But also I wanted to say yes, chef, or chef's kiss. That's something very cool, I think. Just saying, yeah, chef. Alright, let's just get into whatever I did want to talk about. So, where I'm at, the lockdown is actually being lifted slowly. So actually, depending on the number of cases today and tomorrow, I think, it's going to be decided whether or not the lockdown period, the movement restriction order, is going to be extended. So we might actually go back to living a somewhat modified life, but still somewhat normal, you know? And so I've been allowed to go outside. I didn't go alone, of course. I went with my entire family. That's like so cool because usually it's only my mom who would go out for groceries, maybe to the hospital. She has checkups and stuff because she's had surgery pretty recently, so she still has to check out that stuff. It's not serious, don't worry about it. And I'm actually doing much better. If you remember in the last episode, I was sitting with a tea bag on my eye. It was midnight. It still is midnight, but still, it was midnight. Had a tea bag on my eye, recording a podcast, vibing, just being my best self, being myself. Being yourself is great. And yeah, this time, I don't have an eye infection, but this time I have a headache. It's supposed to be a tradition. If you don't sit at midnight and record, and if you don't have some sort of ailment, are you really listening and recording Snaipple podcasts? Is that really Snaipple podcast material? I don't think so. Can I just stop ripping off every single person I know and just be myself, start telling my stories? Thank you, Snailing. Yeah, my name is Raymond. Thank you, Raymond. Thank you, Snailing. Bless your soul. Did I just bless my own soul on the podcast? I mean, if you don't bless yourself, in Russian we say if you don't compliment yourself, if you don't praise yourself, no one else will. So please don't think I'm narcissistic. I'm just upholding my cultural values. Don't come at me. But what I was talking about is going outside for the first time in almost 2 months. Like, don't misunderstand me. It was a huge deal for me because I hear that people in just other places, other countries, they go out for walks and stuff. I was scared to go out just in general, to leave my apartment, to leave my apartment floor. I only got down to the parking lot to help my mom with groceries, to help her load them out, take them out of the car, bring them up on our floor, stuff like that. And I also went down to like the ground floor to get a package because my mom sent me. Oof. I have this huge deal about receiving packages. Like, my mom orders it on her name, obviously. And sometimes they need her IC number, they need her to sign, and every time I have to receive that, I can write down a number. I can write down the number on her passport, no problem. If she tells me the number, I can write it down. But what I feel very wrong and scared about is signing instead of her. I don't know how to do her signature. I was a good kid. I didn't have to falsify any documents when I was younger. I didn't have to falsify any signatures. I think I did try to copy it, but I never really intended to pass it off as my own. So I did not indulge in forgery when I was younger. Weird flex, but okay. So I just write her name. Sometimes I go wild, and it's not like they're gonna check, right? So every time they ask for a signature, if you order something online and they ask for a signature, it's not like they have any way to check, right? They're not gonna look up your document where it has the signature. They're not gonna look at your bank card because they already have your bank information. The transaction is completed. So do you just need me to write the name? Illegibly, of all things? Of all the ways I could write someone's name, you want me to write it illegibly? As a scribble? Okay. Sometimes post requirements are so weird. But, you know, she really likes ordering packages and I have to be a good kid for her. But anyway, actually going outside, beyond my apartment building, it's insane. So, getting in the car is one thing. Seeing the sun is one thing. The sky, the trees around, that's one thing. But actually stepping foot in a mall where stores are open, because they allow businesses to open a little bit, right? Some businesses are open. I don't think many fashion stores were open, but we're not about that. We're here to just walk around. We're here to go to the pharmacy. We're here to get a little bit of groceries maybe. We're here to eat. Guys, we ate outside. We had outside food. If you're listening, post all of this. Congratulations, we survived. But also, welcome. I really like having you here. And we're all going through bizarre times. This is background information. To all the time travelers out there, if you're listening to Snaipple, to all the people from the future, if you're starting to listen to my podcast, this is the context. We're all staying home, staying healthy, wearing masks. Like, of course, you do have to go through those procedures of just getting your body temperature checked, like a vibe check, but a body temperature check. I called it like a weapon or something. I wanted to call it a machine, but I ended up calling it a type of gun. And it was so weird. My mom looked at me like, "Are you good?" But, I mean, what is it? It's not a traditional thermometer, is it? It's a device that somehow scans your body temperature. I don't even know how it works. When I was younger, we used to have these mercury, I think they had mercury in them. Mercury thermometers. I can't speak. And I'm hosting a podcast, but I can't speak. Anyway, mercury thermometers. Those are the scariest things I've ever touched. The scariest, absolute scariest thing. And you know how... Okay, I know how to use it if it's already set to, like, default temperature. If it's already showing 36.6. I use Celsius, so 36.6 36.6 degrees. It's already showing 36.6 degrees. I know how to use it. You just stick it under your armpit and you wait like 10 minutes maybe. And then you look, you see your body temperature. It's all good. But, and then there's the electronic thermometers. Those are much easier to handle. You just like stick them in your mouth for less than a minute. How far technology has come. But for the majority of my childhood, we had to use mercury thermometers. Why is it so hard for me to say this? This is why I don't want to go into the medicine field when I grow up. I'm talking as a kid. Like, being a teenager is so weird because you're neither a kid nor an adult. So you're just like, when I grow up, it's still a valid thing to say. So I don't want to go into the medical field because I would just mispronounce everything. But yeah, mercury thermometers. Just trying to shake it back to the normal setting. It's not even a setting, it's just the normal status of the mercury inside. It's so dangerous because you have to whip it and shake it, like shake it down. And as a kid, you don't have a good grip on things. Even as an adult, I don't have a good grip on my life. I mean, I'm not an adult, but still, as an older person, boomer snailing. Can I just stop? Can I just tell a coherent story? Okay, thank you. So you have to shake it, and your fingers, they don't grip too well, especially because it's literally a glass tube full of mercury. Who thought it was a good idea to have a glass tube with a very toxic substance inside to give to sick people to measure their body temperature? That makes no sense. Actually, a lot of things from the past, if they involve medicine, they make no sense. But I didn't come here to be mad at mercury thermometers. I'm just saying that if you go to public places, they need to check your body temperature. They check your body temperature when you go into the parking lot. They check your body temperature when you enter the mall, like necessarily the building itself, the mall territory. Because technically a parking lot is mall territory, but the mall, inside the mall. You go from the parking lot inside the mall to the mall inside the mall. See where I'm at? Yeah. And when you walk around, any place, any like business venue, any store you enter, they also take your body temperature. And some people actually write it down into a book, a logbook. And you have to sanitize your hands, you have to wear masks, stuff like that. So besides all these things, it's very much normal. It's a very normal experience, and I can't believe that in these circumstances, it's so bizarre. So we had food outside. We went to a restaurant and we sat at a bigger table because by law they have to maintain social distancing. They have to have sitting places accommodating social distancing. So there has to be a distance of 1 meter between every customer, between every person of staff. And well, sometimes they do have to be closer than that just to like place food on your table, you know? But it's so weird sitting so far apart from my family members. And there's only like 3 of us out. So there was 1 chair distance between me and my mom. And on the other side, on the middle chair, was my sister. We were out celebrating her birthday. So it was very nice to experience going out, eating out again, even if it's a bit compromised. There's so much less people, and I actually kind of like it. I like how there's no people around. I mean, it's not going to last long, obviously, but having people around, seeing other people, just doing their thing, walking around, talking to other people, I cannot stress enough how appreciative I am to just talk to other people, even if it's people at a store or something. It's just so great to talk. I can't believe I'm just saying this. But yeah, it's really what it's come to. And I saw some people on a date. It looked like they were on a date, and it was so cute. Just look, it's people around. I really miss that normal, you know? I never really thought about it at home because, you know, I'm just in my own little bubble. But seeing other people, it was just very great and, I don't know, sobering. Speaking of sobering, I do say all my drinks are clean, you know? I drink bleach, okay? My drinks are very clean. But I got myself boba, bubble tea, again. It's been 2 months since I last drank it. And I was just smiling so hard. I had my mask on when I was ordering, but it felt so great to just utter the words pearl milk tea, brown sugar pearl milk tea. Can I have it in large size? And just pay money again, because I don't use paper money at my house. I can't use money in my house. I can't order anything like directly at my house. And yeah, I'm just really glad to have that. I was so happy to just say that, handle the transaction, and receive the tea. Receive the tea. It's like gossiping. No, I didn't gossip with the cashier. But yeah, it's so great. I was smiling so hard. I don't think he knew I was smiling, the cashier, but I felt that in my soul. I really needed that boba. And I'm going outside tomorrow as well. Like in the early morning, hence why I'm recording now. And I'm actually feeling it, so it's very great. We're going outside tomorrow too, getting some groceries. I'm already thinking about what kind of snack I'm going to get. You know, it really makes you appreciate what you have, appreciate your normal surroundings. Like usually we would complain about that, like, oh, there's people. But then I never thought that I would be so happy to see other people, to go out. I just always took it for granted. So it was very refreshing to be able to go out. And I'm really glad that they're lifting the restrictions, and it actually might be completely lifted within a week. So I'll update next week if it comes to that. But yeah, this episode of the podcast, this is about this sort of stuff. So far, I have only been outside like once. Tomorrow is my second time. And another thing is that I dress up. I put on makeup. I really want to look my best because there's no one really at home that could see me. And I just, you know what? I want to go out and be razzle-dazzle. I want to be pretty. So I put on makeup. I put on nice clothes. It's just super great. It's very great for just my own perception, like the way I see myself, the way I see the outside world. It's very great. But yeah, you still have to maintain social distancing. Even though it's great to be outside, it's great to socialize, I do have to say that you have to maintain social norms, like the current norms that we have, the norms that are urged by our current circumstances. You have to follow them. Just please do. Please wash your hands. Please use hand sanitizer. Wear masks if you're out. Just do what people ask you to do. Stay home, most importantly. Stay home, says Snailing that goes outside. I don't go outside a lot. See, I stayed home for 2 months. I stayed home for 2 months. You can stay home too. So, yeah, just don't gather in large groups. Going outside is fine. Just don't gather in large groups and stay safe. And I can't believe that in the US there's actually like protests against any kind of lockdown. Like, bruh, not every state is even under lockdown. I'm not gonna get political. This podcast is not to be political, but it's just super dumb that people violate the most basic rule you can have, like stay home. It's very basic, I would say, or maintain a distance. It's very basic. And can't they understand? The people that riot, it's not the government, it's not a state impeding on your right to impeding on your right to go to public places. That's not it. It's the state protecting your right to live, to be healthy. Have you not thought of that? So I think this is the most I'm going to say about that. I don't want to get political on this podcast, and if I did, I would get heated. And okay, I will get heated on the next topic that I'm going to talk about. Like, eventually on the podcast, I will get heated. just a warning. I'm actually doing the Karen gesture, like, I have my hand, like, in a fist, just bent, I don't know. You know the hand position with the super long nails, those acrylics? And, like, the annoying voice? Yeah, that's what I am actually doing those things, like a Karen. And Karen is actually something else I wanted to talk about. Like, it's a meme. Memes are part of life, oh my god, part of my life, so I'm going to talk about them on the podcast as well. It's not a meme review type of thing, because that's not what I do. I don't come here to review, I just come here to vibe and have a good time. That's all I ever do. I don't come here to start fights, I don't come here to be right, as my boy Tariqa Lee says. I don't come here to be right. Yeah, I just come here to have a good time. But that's not what Tariq Ali says. He says, I don't come here to be right, I'm just here to start the conversation. He's a great YouTuber, you should check him out. But yeah, if we're gonna talk about Karens, I don't believe it's a slur. I used to have a haircut that kind of resembled the Karen hairstyle, but never in my life would I ever talk to a manager. Never in my life would I complain about something. I feel so small if I want to complain. Genuinely, I am scared to complain about things, even if I'm entitled to complain to that. You know, sometimes you really are entitled to complain to. Oh no, I swear, oops. I'm just gonna censor that. I'm not gonna cut the recording. So far, I'm just doing it in one take. Oops. I feel very bad about myself now. I like to keep my content clean. I'm just gonna censor that. It's fine. Yeah, I'm not gonna go ahead and be mad, even if I'm entitled to being mad, even if it's okay for me to be upset about something, because, I mean, it's not servers' fault, I don't think, in many cases, because, like, what do Karens complain about? Their food's cold? I would never complain that my food's cold. I would just suck it up and eat it. Suck up my food, just like Kirby. I would, you know? That's how you eat noodles. You take your chopsticks and you just slurp. Yeah, but I can't believe that people are genuinely getting so upset over Karens, like being called Karen. That's just it. If you're upset about being called a Karen, then you're a Karen. And I had the Karen hairstyle, I just don't have the Karen demeanor, and even if someone called me Karen, I would probably just laugh it off. Like, haha, yeah, Karen Snailing, that's my name now. No, it's Raymond, don't worry. But I just think it's a funny meme. I just think it's neat. But you know what's not funny? Elon Musk's kid. Like, they really went off. Bro really snapped. I don't know how else to define it. You've probably read an article, you've seen the name for yourself. I can't even pronounce that. No one can. I don't think anyone has. Imagine being able to release a pronunciation reveal for your kid. Like, that would just be such strong energy. That would just be such a power move, ultimate gamer move. You just need to create a name that's utterly unpronounceable, and no, you should record pronunciations of the name, burn it on a CD, sell those CDs, make money off of your kid's name. Yes. Should I just go ahead and email Elon Musk about that? Like, I could. Just give me Elon Musk's email. Is this the thing now? I'm just going to start fights for no reason? I mean, okay, I will get heated about this a bit later. So I think I have a reason to be mad. Or just upset or unhappy. But all the other things I started, I tried to start, like with the juice company that has facts on the lid. I'm not gonna name it. And the little chonker company, the little chonker game. I'm not gonna name it. I'm just going to attack famous people and brands. But I don't think it's an attack. Why can't we just exist? And if anything, what I want to say to Mr. Musk is constructive criticism. I'm giving him a business suggestion as a business pitch. And all the sales, I will demand like 1% of all the sales money, and I'll still get rich. Just for real. Yeah, you just need to record yourself pronouncing your kid's name. And if you don't know the name, it's A-12. That's the name. And it's not even an A, it's like this mutant A. An A-E. An A. So his name is A-12. And I've seen several theories on how to pronounce that. So some people are saying it's pronounced like Sasha. Some people are saying it's Kyle. And yeah, or like Sasha Archangel. And I'm just, I am not okay. That's not how you write a name. You know, several years back, there was this meme about this girl named Lidasha, and her mom wrote the name as Lee, a literal dash A, so people would maybe mistake it for Leah or Lie or something, but her name was actually Lidasha. I still don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but yeah, this name doesn't even give me a clue on what that is. And the thing is, okay, I don't have anything against Elon Musk or Grimes. I don't have anything against the kid. I just feel bad for him. Because I just feel super bad for him, because I already feel how bad he's going to get bullied for his name. Like, why don't you name your kid Raymond Snailing? Like, have the first name be Raymond, have the middle name be Snailing, and the last name be Musk. Raymond Snailing Musk. Ray Musk. Yes! No joke, that's how I'm naming my kid. Okay, I need to write that down. I'm joking, I'm not gonna name my kid like that. I'm gonna, like, if I ever have kids, I'm gonna name them something okay. I'm gonna name them something pronounceable. That's just my goal. I don't have anything particular in mind because, like, I don't want kids. That's just how I feel about it right now because I'm 16. I shouldn't be thinking about that, even though my mom did tell me that, like, she was thinking about how she would name her kids when she was 10. And let me tell you, the name she wanted to name her kids when she was 10, just like her imaginary future kids, 10-year-old Raymond's mom was like, let me tell you, it wasn't Raymond. It's just bad. Anything that's not Raymond is bad. I'm kidding. All names are valid. Except A-12. Elon Musk named his kid Lil Nas X. Even Lil Nas X is so much easier to pronounce. Bruh. I'm actually gonna break down because of this. So, yeah, I'm usually not one to question stuff like that, and I'm not allowed to question this. I don't think it's my place. It's not my right to question people's choices. But if you're going to get clout on that, if you're going to if you know that your kid's going to be famous, just because you're famous, the mother of your child is famous. If you're both famous, your child is going to be famous. You realize that, right? So you have to just give the kid a name that won't get them bullied, you know? Like, we've been surprised by Kardashian's kids, like Northwest. And now Northwest is a blessing. That's an amazing name. Saint, amazing name, just because you can pronounce that. What other kids do they have? Chicago, I think? I'm not invested in the Kardashians. It's a miracle I know this much. But yeah, you can pronounce that, you can read that. You have people genuinely liking your kid because, oh, maybe they genuinely like the name, or the kid is cute. You can actually pay attention to the kid and how cute the kid is. But so far, all we're doing is paying attention to the name, and I've seen so many people make memes and jokes about the name. And let me tell you, the memes are funny just because they all take into account that, like, it's a robot kid. They all just presume that low X here, Xy. I'm just gonna call him Xy for my own sanity. Low Xy, a rapper. I'm going off topic. So they're just saying that Xy here is a robot, and the memes are amazing. Just people. I feel so bad for laughing because what I was about to say is that I think people are going too far. Like, as outrageous as the name is, as much as Mr. Musk and Grimes, I love how I just refer to him as Mr. Musk, but I gotta be respectful because I kind of bullied. I took part in this bullying, okay? Just now on my podcast. So, yeah, as much as the parents are in the wrong for naming their kid like that and actually put my views on, like, free parenthood, people are free to have kids, I'm not one to judge, they put that under question. I think people need a license to have kids now. Like, just take a test and the test is gonna say, sis, you don't have the right to have kids. Sis, you need to wait a few years until you have good ideas for a name, you know? So, as much as they are in the wrong, I think that people are also pretty mean. Like, you shouldn't be that mean about a name. Because imagine imagine being pregnant for like 9 months, going through hours of labor, and you want to name your kid A-12. You want to name your kid Xy. Like, if you go through that, then yeah, maybe you should understand. And yeah, just in general, women are very emotionally vulnerable, and they're much more vulnerable after they freaking give birth. The kid is several days old, and already has so many people bullying him and his name and just making memes. Sure, the memes are funny, but I don't think that I would have liked Raymond Snailing being made fun of. Like, my name is beautiful. Why make fun of it? But then again, my name is not A-12. It's not Xy. So, yeah, I can't really be the judge in this case. It's a very difficult situation. What I'm saying is just don't be mean to Grimes. She's very vulnerable, and I don't think it's good to just bully a mother for her child, or like bully a newborn kid. That's not nice. But yeah. Speaking of names, there was actually a situation in Russia. How I know, because I come from Russia. I have the insight. So there was this kid born to a family, obviously, and they wanted to name him like Boch and then a set of numbers. It would be like Boch and then the date of birth. So how to decode the name is like a biological component. Humanoid? I don't know. They literally wanted to name it something biological and have the kid's date of birth be in the name, like a literal set of numbers. So they wanted to say that this organism born on this date to this family, they literally wanted to name that kid that, an acronym for just like a being born to this family on this date. It was insane. And it actually prompted the government to issue a law that said you couldn't name your children with numbers. If your name has numbers in it, it's not valid, so you have to just say and write down a name with no numbers. It's not that hard. You don't have to use numbers in a name, please. Or else the memes that we're gonna use emojis in our names, they're gonna come true. And you bet that I'm going to have a snail emoji in my name. I'm just gonna be Raymond with a cat emoji afterwards. Don't forget the cat emoji. And a snail emoji, Snailing. That's it. And the snail emoji has to come before Snailing. And I'll get very upset if you write it wrong. Yeah, just why is it so hard to not include numbers, special characters, and just emojis in someone's name? But yeah, the kid was born in 2002. We had people doing this way before Exy was born, way before I was born. Okay, not way before, it was like 2 years before I was born. But still, you get the picture. And, but a funny name, it's a legit name, I'm not gonna bully it. Just some years back, a couple in Sochi, it's the city where the Winter Olympics were held several years back. So, yeah, a city next to the sea. Just in Sochi, there was this couple that named their kid Elon Musk. I just thought it was a nice way to wrap it up, a nice way to wrap the story. They named their kid Elon Musk. But the thing is, in Russia we have, it's not a middle name, but it's a patronym. So it's a name that derives from your father's name. So, yeah. I'm not sure what the name of young Elon Musk, what his father's name was, or is rather. Like, bless his soul. I hope they're alive and well. I hope they're doing well. I hope that Elon Musk here is doing well at school, you know? Stuff like that. So if his name was something like Ivan, then he would be Elon Musk Ivanovich. So you probably know what I'm getting at, if you understand what I'm getting at. So if Elon Musk, if that kid grows up and has a kid of his own, his kids are going to have the middle name Elon Muskovich. Or Elon Muskovna for a girl. And that thought just doesn't let me rest. It's very unsettling to me. But yeah, I thought it would be a nice way to wrap up the whole conversation about names, parenthood, and stuff. Just, if you want me to respect you, and respect your choice of name your kid Raymond, or Raymond Snailing, or Snailing. Either of the three. Or you could like the video if you're on YouTube. You could share it with your friends if you're on any other platform. But I'm kidding around. If your kids don't have numbers in their name, and I can pronounce it just by reading it, I will respect you. I respect that choice. So, yeah. And I think the last thing I want to talk about is, just now, before I started recording the podcast, I took a personality test, like the 16 personality test, because my friends took it, and everyone in the group chat started taking it, and I was like, okay, I'm going to take it too. Several years back, when I was younger, I took the personality test as well, but, you know, it's very difficult. Like, not only do you change with the years, but you also see yourself in a different light, and you just understand yourself better. It's so weird how at some point in your life you just don't understand yourself at all. And I was very happy to just know what the answers to the questions were, to know what kind of stuff I liked, what kind of social situations I liked, how I handle my projects and stuff, my conversations, my relationships. It's stuff like that. It's just very soothing, maybe? So it's not really a label that's important, you know, like a lot of people have like INTP and it stands for something and stuff like that. I'm not here to get the letters, but if you're curious in my letters, it's ISFP-A. And apparently, yeah, it just means that I'm more introverted than extroverted. Yeah, I'm just looking at my phone at the breakdown. I screenshotted this. It's important to me now, I guess. I'm more observant than I am intuitive. I don't quite know. I know what intuitive means, but... okay, I can understand what observant means. Makes sense. My nature is more feeling than thinking. So it's basically how I make decisions and cope with emotions. I do think that emotions are very important. And reason doesn't always help, because you can't always place a reason behind an emotion, but the emotion is very real, even without reason. So, yeah, feeling. My tactics, approach to work, planning, and decision making. It's prospecting as opposed to judging. I'm not a judgmental person. If you think that I'm a judgmental person, even though I just judged someone else's kid, their name, I'm not a judgmental person. Like I said, I'm okay. It's just that this particular case with Exy, it's extreme. I don't like it. Like, it just... it's been several days and I'm still not over it. But I hope you are over it too. I hope this little conversation we had gave you closure to that. Identity. I'm not... Identity. How confident we are in our abilities and decisions. I am assertive. And the other option was turbulent. So yeah, assert dominance. And actually, after they give you just like the basic breakdown of your stats in those categories, like mind, nature, tactics, identity, they give you pages of information. And basically, if you do the test right, if you do it accurate to yourself, then obviously it should be reflective of who you are as a person. And some paragraphs, some phrases, they really hit me and defined me. Like, I wouldn't usually believe in stuff like that, like personality tests, astrology. But astrology is very different. It's just guessing what kind of a person you are based on when, maybe even where you were born. Just like under which star. And it's not even the same stars anymore, because the sun moves around, stars move around, and the dates in which the sun is within a certain zodiac constellation, it's shifted. Like, you've probably seen the little NASA chart a few years back. It's just a new chart, so they were trying to just paint it as new signs, and everyone would be like, oh no, I'm a Pisces now. No shade to Pisces. The only Pisces I know is amazing. He's a great friend. So yeah, Pisces are cool. It's just, it's very uncomfortable to stick with one label your whole life, like a star sign, and then suddenly have it be changed. So it's not accurate. It's not scientific at all. Like, how is a star gonna define how you are, what your personality is, what your life is, how your luck for the day is? That's something that baffles me. So they just write super vague stuff, and it's not a hot take. I'm just saying stuff as it is. I don't come here to be right, even though in this case I am. Oof. But yeah, astrology, I will admit that I like reading astrological stuff sometimes. Do like compatibility stuff. Test for compatibility. Even though it's really whether or not you click. How well you talk with that person. But the personality test, it asks you questions about your values, about your habits, about just how you take life. And it takes that information and it pinpoints your personality type. That's literally how it works. And a friend of mine said something super genius about it, because I was just talking about how the paragraphs really reflected who I am. Like, they said that my personality type that was given to me was adventurer, even though I don't quite agree with that label, but the stuff they have to say about it is pretty real, and it applies to me. It's like, adventurers live in a colorful, sensual world inspired by connections with people and ideas. I love talking to people. I love connecting with people, but still, I'm kind of an introvert, like it said. And ideas are amazing. I think those are cool. These personalities take joy in reinterpreting these connections, reinventing and experimenting with both themselves and new perspectives. Yes, experiments are everything. It's just super great that I really got myself. I pinpoint. That's what my friend said. You really got yourself. It's not the test that got you. It's you, because you input that information. And one paragraph, I'm not going to read the whole thing. It hit me because it pinpointed my essence. Knowing you are loved, you can do anything. I believe that's true. I wholeheartedly believe in that. It's just, yeah, it's super great. And I'll probably forget about this in a day or so. But yeah, it's just super cool, I think. More so because I just feel connected with myself. Just having all these paragraphs say stuff that's very accurate to who I am as a person, it really let me have the confidence in myself. Because I already kind of knew that I knew what I was made of. I knew what kind of a person I was, and still am. I am in every moment. It's just me. I am. No one's going to take that away from you. And I think it's very important for you to just know yourself. Of course, it's important to know other people in your life, but you should also have a very good knowledge of yourself. Because how is anyone going to know you if you don't know yourself? But yeah, on that note, I think I'm going to be wrapping up the podcast. I had a really good time talking about everything. And yeah, it just hit different, let me say. This episode hit different. I might actually name it like Hitting Different or Hits Different or something, because I don't think I got super funny. I don't think I was especially funny. Like Nora, my number one fan, she texts me before and after each episode of the podcast. I love her. She's so sweet, so supportive. And yeah, she texted me and she said the previous episode was a vibe, and it really makes me happy that there's people who enjoy it, even if it's just a couple of people and I know exactly who they are. I really enjoy it. And if there's strangers, if there's people who don't know me at all listening to this, I'm really glad you're listening to me. I'm just genuinely really glad to have you around. And yeah, that's it. We went from being excited to just kind of gushing about the outside world to going all out. I actually have it in my notes to say, go off, sis. And I have it underlined. It's a whole roller coaster. And yeah, it was a joy having you on this ride. Woohoo! That's a really nice way to phrase it. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. So thank you for being my guest. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate if you shared the podcast with a friend. The podcast is available on Spotify, Google Podcasts. It's also on YouTube as an audio video. I don't record any footage of me talking because I just think that would be boring. And if I have to edit the audio just a little bit, like censor something that I shouldn't have said, I still feel really bad about myself saying that. It's not even that offensive. It's just me slipping up a little bit. It happens. So it would just make the edits and the audio pretty obvious, and I don't know if I'm ready for that. I'm not gonna just sit down. So unless I find something interesting to do, I won't put out actual videos. So it's just gonna be a video of the audio on the snailing background. Just a signature snail. I actually drew that myself. But anyway, that's irrelevant. Please, if you're listening / watching on YouTube, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends, stuff like that. If you're on Google Podcasts, I'm not sure if you can review the podcast. I don't think you can, but if you can, please do it. If you're on Spotify, please continue listening. Just subscribe to the podcast. That way you won't miss it when it comes out. So, yeah, just just do the thing. It makes me happy and should help me grow. Even though I'm happy with my little audience, it's very nice of you. Anyway, I'm taking too much time for that. Just thank you for listening, and I'll see you all next Saturday. Bye!